Hello and welcome to the December 2022 Maritimers of the Pearl Trident X Point Old School event. On the left we have Matt playing budget blue-green. His goal today is to drop an Efreet with a couple of unstable mutations and swing for big damage. On the right we have Brandon playing Mishra's Beast. Today he wants to play a Mishra's Workshop and a Dark Ritual into some really big artifacts. And we have the immediate advantage today with Brandon as Matthew is taking a mulligan down to 6. Matt's second hand here only has one land, so he's going to draw down to 5, putting Matt in a very difficult spot. Matt's only saving grace here as his deck's converted mana cost is very low. His highest cost creature is only 3 mana. We have an accidental reveal here of the island. I don't think this is much of a surprise to Brandon. And it looks like his mulligan might pay off. This is actually a very good starting hand for Matt. Brandon off with a very strong turn 1, setting himself up for a minimum of 4 mana next turn. And we have First Blood, Merfolk of the Pearl Trident getting in for 1 damage. Brandon notices that there's 2 untapped islands here, so he's going to be very cautious of his next play. With all the artifact mana in Brandon's deck, this Winter Orb's going to really lock down his opponent more than himself. Merfolk of the Pearl Trident doing all of Matt's work here tonight, putting Brandon down to 18. And Matt drops the Efreet, the win con of his deck. Unfortunately, this taps down all of his islands, opening up Brandon to play whatever he'd like next turn. As if Brandon didn't have enough mana available, this Dark Ritual is going to allow him to play essentially anything in his library. And this is exactly what Brandon wanted to play. So the Tetravis is from Antiquities, it has flying, and when it enters the battlefield you get 3+1/+1 counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may remove any number of those +1/+1 counters on Tetravis. If you do, put that many 1/1 colorless Tetravite artifact creature tokens into the battlefield. They each have flying, and this creature can't be enchanted. But wait, there's more! At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile any number of these tokens you put onto the battlefield with Tetravis. If you do, put that many +1/+1 counters on Tetravis. With the 1 lost life from Efreet last turn, and the 4 in from Tetravite now, that's going to put Matt down to 15. And Brandon drops his second creature, Su-Chi. This is going to put some more pressure on Matt. And Matt slows the clock down a little bit by playing the counterspell he's had since his opening hand to stop that Su-Chi. Matt swings in with his Efreet and Merfolk of the Pearl Trident, doing 4 more damage, putting it 14 all. Tetravis doing the work of 2 of Matt's creatures here, getting in for 4 damage. Despite the early mulligans being outpowered, Matt is doing some damage here. He's going to bring his opponent down to 10 life. And to add insult to injury, Brandon now drops a Juggernaut, making Matt in a very difficult situation with 4 life on his next upkeep. And Matt goes all in here with a second Efreet. So Matt chump blocks the 2 artifacts, leaving him with 1 turn left to pull out a win. It looks like Matt top decks another chump blocker, this time River Merfolk from Fallen Empires. A 2/1 Merfolk that can gain Mountain Walk for 1 blue. It's a little late in the game, but Brandon finally drops his Mishra's Workshop, one of the most powerful lands in Magic the Gathering history. Brandon drops the Triskelion, and instead of just dealing 3 damage directly to Matt, he decides to pop his blocker and kill him with the Juggernaut. This brings us to Game 2. Let's see what the competitors bring out of their sideboards. I must say Game 1 was surprisingly close given the power level difference of these decks. With that mulligan to 5, Matt didn't hold much of a chance, but he held on to the very end. Let's see if he can bring it to a Game 3, or if Brandon will make this a clean sweep. And this is exactly what we want to see here at Old School Magic the Gathering. We have 2 players keeping their full hands of 7, no mulligans required. Starting with a Workshop and a Sapphire into a Chaos Orb and Winter Orb. This game might be over before it even started. And Matt plays a little bit of land destruction on that Mishra's Workshop, so the Phantasmal Terrain is going to change that to an island. Matt, who was full in on the defensive after turn 1, is now using land disruption to keep his opponents in check. And we've got our first creature of the game, Lord of Atlantis, on Matt's side. Brandon plays a Paralyze on that Lord of Atlantis, putting it out of commission. Oh wait, we have a rules correction here. He's taking it back and now playing an Abyss. This Abyss and Winter Orb combo is going to make it very difficult for Matt to keep any creatures on the battlefield. Matt hits one of his sideboard cards here, Energy Flux from Antiquities. All artifacts in play now require an additional upkeep of 2 mana. Brandon uses that orb he grabbed on turn 1, and it is a successful flip despite the fact it's off camera. It did hit the corner of the Energy Flux. Brandon drops the fan favorite Juggernaut. That's going to get in for 5 damage every single turn until Matt can get some blockers out. With the second energy flux today, Matt now has a chance to really gain some ground. Brandon's had to make some tough choices here. It looks like he's going to keep the Feldware Stone and the Juggernaut. And just like that, there goes the Juggernaut. Matt plays out a handful of Merfolks. Next turn he'll have to sacrifice one with the Abyss, but he'll still be able to get in for some damage. Matt gets in for a whopping 7 damage with his 3 Merfolk. Juggernaut noped out of existence with a counter spell. Matt loses 2 life to the Side Blast in order to kill the Triskelion. In response, Brandon removes the counters on Triskelion to deal 2 points of damage to the Lord of Atlantis and 1 point directly to Matt. The Lord of Atlantis would have died the next turn due to the Abyss. And we have the second Triskelion. Matt plays Control Magic on the Triskelion, taking control of it. In response, Brandon removes the 3 counters to Lightning Bolt Matt right to the face. And just like that, Brandon swings in with lethal damage, making him tonight's match winner.